It's C-Doc again.
Hey, party people in the place to be. It is Tuesday night. And of course, you know what that means. If you're right here on Channel Zero, that means it's time for It's C-Doc again. I am your host, C-Doc. I am the host of this show. I am the president of the Spitslam record label group, a music producer for a little group you may have heard of called Public Enemy, among others. And I'm also the president of the Spitslam record label group. Just trying to lay it all out there because people tell me I don't do that enough. So there you go. Now you know. All right. We're gonna work on that. But I don't do this alone. Nope. First up is a gal that got her start in classic rap radio. Our lady from the heyday of K-Day, the first 24-hour hip-hop station in the world, Jennifer O. Jenny.
What's happening?
What's good?
I was just discussing with somebody, we're in 102 heat right now.
Wow. We're like it was 70 something today, and I think it's 62 right now.
Thursday it's supposed to be 115, if not more.
Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And my air conditioner's over there screaming.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Like, get me the hell out of here.
So I had to turn it off. So I'm melting.
Nice and cozy there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, also joining us tonight, he is the co-creator of a podcast, People's Distinctive Travels, which is excellent in its own right. Please go search that out. Listen to the episode where Jennifer's on, and among some of the other ones. And he is also one of the dopest accounts on Instagram. If you don't follow him, you're a sucker. Ladies and gentlemen, Ultramag 7.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How are you doing, people?
Hanging in, man. I got sick today. I woke up sick.
Sick?
Yes. I don't feel
Bug? Stomach? Bug?
No, chest.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just, dragging ass.
The blood. You got the blood.
Yes, the blood.
Blah, this, blah, that.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes Donkey.
Yeah.
It's madness.
Donkey.
So what's up, y'all?
Madness, what's up, bro? How are you?
I'm good. You know what? I don't have it, and I feel bad because my man C the Cuban sent me some hip hop mail.
Oh.
I'll have it next week.
Okay. Excellent.
Shout out to C the Cuban.
Yes. Shout out to C the Cuban, who is one of our hip hop homies. So to speak.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. It is Sick Doc again, Donkey. That is right.
Sick Doc.
Damn it. Yeah. Yes. So, okay. So hold on hip hop mail. Is Flatline joining us tonight? I don't even know. I'm not even sure.
I don't know.
He put up a show today.
We might as well join in. Rest in peace, Fat Man Scoop.
Fat Man Scoop. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
That was that was rough.
Yeah.
You know what? I started where I first saw Fat Man Scoop. If people remember way back, he used to always be on like the back cover of the Source magazine, like all the Tommy Boy ads. Like if you remember back then. Yeah. I was,
Can we not? Because holy cow, Bobby Simmons, the Stet Funky drummer, was just talking to him about going on his show, and there was a voicemail.
Wow.
And
yep.
And he said, I don't know how I'm going to deal with this because, Tom Silverman and Monica Lynch put me on.
Well, That's the thing. It was. I saw on Monica Lynch's page, she had like a message from him. So she played like, the inbox message with his voice, and he was thanking her. There was someone else. It wasn't Tom Silverman. There was somebody else, but she was thanking them for putting him on. And then I guess he had pictures, snaps of all the back ads. And I was like, yeah, I remember that because he used to be on all the
ads,
the last pages. Yeah,
I forgot all about that until you mentioned it. Jeez.
Yeah. Like I remember, but when Monica posted it up, I'm like, oh, yeah. So
yeah. Okay, so my question is answered. Also joining us tonight from the Northwest Side, he is the man behind Hip Hop Gods Radio, which is on. Oh, and he's the president of Rap Station, which is Chuck D's internet radio label, radio station. Sorry, not label. Ladies and gentlemen, Flatline.
Oh my gosh, I'm here.
You are. I couldn't remember if you were gonna be here or not. So
I am here. I'm yeah. Yeah.
I'm so glad you're back because I wanted to talk to you so bad because my friend is just hounding me in my ear about all these trolls, these humongous trolls in the greater North.
Right.
I've seen pictures of trolls for the past week.
Yeah, there's some new ones that they like put in the forest, and I haven't seen them myself, but it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only you and I know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I wanted to share just really quick, Ultramag. I brought this back from the lovely state of Oregon, and it's I don't know how to say it. Lupulin Advisory Double IPA. I bought it, of course, for the label.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, that's dope. So
that is dope.
I've saved it for the show, so we'll do a little taste test.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's
fantastic.
Wonderful.
You can let us.
Look at that.
Know how it is.
Yeah.
All
Maybe
right.
have something to pour it into as well.
Yeah.
Maybe they could sponsor the show as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really. See, I'm winking, Brian. I am winking. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I am anxious to talk to our guest tonight. He is a producer. Oh, great mug. There you go. We got to talk about them. Got to bring them up.
Yep.
A producer.
Although the beer looks like pee, but go ahead.
I think it's the lighting. It doesn't. Well, yeah, it is. It's the lighting.
There you go. It's the lighting.
All right.
What's it called again?
Lupin the Third.
I can't say it.
Yeah. Well, that could be their new tagline. It's the lighting. So,
right.
Yeah. Our guest tonight is a producer, musician that played on or worked on some of the greatest albums ever made and some of my personal favorites. Please welcome to the show, Dwayne Simon, aka Muffla of LA Posse.
Yep.
And actually, let's add to that an absolute OG when it comes to Los Angeles hip hop. Period.
There you go.
That's right. Uncle Jam's Army comes to the LA Sports Arena.
There you go. There you go.
Muffla, how are you this evening?
I am blessed, highly favored, and I'm always excited to do stuff like this and do podcasts and interviews. I love this type of stuff, and
Excellent.
I don't get to do it enough, because I'm just Muffla. So people trip over me. They don't request me. They trip over me.
No, that's well. We got to change that because
not to us.
Yeah, yeah, man. I'll tell you something towards the end. I'm not going to bring it up now, but yeah, about your work. But I like to start off about what you're doing now. What are you doing these days?
Depends on what you mean, musically or just otherwise.
Just whatever you want to promote, whatever you want to say.
What I'm doing musically, I'm actually working on a score for my own film that I'm trying to get shot.
Wow.
It's called Dank, The Quest for Euphoria, and I have a partner. His name is Earl Hardage. The man's a genius, and he's probably one of the biggest secrets of hip hop. Nobody knows about this cat, and he's actually Battle Cat before Battle Cat.
Wow.
Before Battle Cat actually came up with his signature sound. Earl was doing that stuff maybe 10 years prior, but I mean, you need a break sometimes, and he never got that break. So he's like family to me. So when I finally got around to doing some stuff locally here in California, I grabbed him. To make a long story short, and we've been together ever since. The guy he's a genius. He's a genius, but he has severe case of what do you call it? He's bipolar.
Oh wow.
Really, really heavy. So I mean, he's a genius, and he's a zombie. You put him in the studio, and he'll go 3 days straight. He won't go to sleep, and I don't know how he does it. But he won't go to sleep, and he'll make track after track. But the drawback on that is, I have to actually be sitting in the studio with him to catch all of his genius, because Earl, he trips over it and kicks genius down the street like it's an empty can.
Wow.
I mean, if you're not sitting in there and have that thing on record while he's playing, you're gonna miss it, because you'll ask him to, okay, Earl, play that thing again. He'll be like, what thing? What thing? And it's gone. It's gone forever. And so I can imagine, you guys can imagine the hits that I've missed just nodding off and just not being in the studio. Wow. But yeah, Earl, he's my partner, and he's you guys will see. You guys will see once we get this score done and some other things. Actually, you know what? Let me touch on this stuff. I have another partner. His name is Fabian Blackson, and he's a USC grad, marketing major. And the boy's a genius when it comes to spotting talent, coming up with ideas, marketing ideas and stuff like that. So he's actually working real hard, and I'm right there with him, but he's working real hard on 2, maybe 4 particular artists, if you don't mind me naming them. One of them is actually my cousin. Her name is, what's her stage name? Her stage name is, oh God, I can't remember her name. What? God dang, I can't remember her stage name. But she's freaking phenomenal. That's the only way I can put it. She has the it factor. She looks great. She sings. She writes. She's diligent. I mean, she works hard. And you can Chaos. That's her name. K-OS. Chaos. And she's phenomenal. And he's really hot on her. And there's another cat that we have out of Canada. His name is Alex Price. You look out for him. This guy is the second coming of whatever you want to throw up against him. Because he's phenomenal. He writes. I mean, he's a great musician. It's really hard to find talent these days that actually will do the work. They'll get out on the road. This is what I do with a lot of my artists. I'll put something out with them. We'll do the TuneCore or the DistroKid or whatever platform we're going to do it on. And the first thing I ask them after it's released is, how many did you buy? And most of them will look at me like, what do you mean buy? I mean, how many of your own records did you buy? And most of them say, well, I didn't buy any. Why did I need to buy it? I said, dude, first of all, where's the money going? It's going right back to you. So why wouldn't you invest in your own? Why wouldn't you invest in your own, career?
Yeah.
So, that's the stuff that I give. I test my artists with that, and then we got a couple of them. There's Crease, there's John Michael, there's Samaje, There's so many artists that I've come across over my years of being in retirement and coming out of retirement and going back in and then coming back out. So there's a few artists that have really piqued my interest, and those are a few. There's No Good. That's for the name, No Good, but his name is No Good, and he's good too. So there's a few guys that we're working with, and a few girls that we're working with. Even my daughter Sunday, she's phenomenal. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a real critic when it comes to hip hop and music as a whole. And most of the stuff I tell her, I don't like it. I don't like it, and I don't think you can sing. I'll straight up tell her that. But then she comes up with it. It motivates her. Some people will fold up like a dollar bill. You tell them that, but not my daughter. She comes back harder and heavier than ever, and she's got some good stuff. So I'm like, okay, now I'm interested. So that's what I'm working on musically. Otherwise, I have a women's football team, a women's professional football team.
Wow.
Oh.
And these we just won the national title. You see my shirt.
Wow.
National champions. We ended up in the top 5 in the country. We were one of only 6 or 7 teams that ended up undefeated this year. Out of roughly 110 teams, I guess, we were one of the. I think there was only like 6 or 7 teams that ended up undefeated, and we were one of them.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's what I'm doing. And I have a baby. I just turned 65 yesterday, and I have a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday and congratulations!
I was just gonna say happy birthday, Muff.
Virgos, like that.
That's right, baby. Yeah, Virgos. Yeah, I have a saying. I call it. We are the Virgos, the September Virgos especially. We are the ghosts. So I call us the Virgos.
There you go.
We're the Virgos.
My birthday, your birthday was yesterday. My birthday is Saturday.
Oh, see, and my mother's birthday is Monday.
See?
Oh.
Virgos, baby.
Yep.
And my wife's birthday was 2 days before mine, the 31st of August. She's an August Virgo.
Nice.
Wow.
And you guys get along okay. That's good. That's
I mean, I'm too old for that bullshit. So.
They just had a baby. They better.
I'm too old for that. No, me and my wife are not having all that. We ain't gonna keep going like that.
Wow. Yep. That's awesome. Thank you for filling us in. Congrats on the win, the championship win.
Yeah,
that's dope. Yep. Al J says you look marvelous. 65. There you go.
65. Hey, weed slows down the aging process.
Yeah, there you go.
Take note.
There you go. Now that you're 65, let's go back to when you were a lot younger.
Okay.
And talk about how you first got into how you first got into music.
How I first got into music. Well, my family has a music background, but that was never my thing. My thing was sports. I always thought I was going to be a wide receiver or a quarterback for the Raiders. That's what I thought. But God had other plans. My mother, they have the church. My sister, my grandmother, they all had the church background. But the person that actually got me interested in music was my cousin, Roger Clayton. He's the fearless, rest in peace. He's the fearless leader of Uncle Jam's Army, and he's my first cousin. And I started going to parties that he was throwing back when they were in Harbor City, back before they started, way before the before Alpine Village. We were throwing parties in Harbor City at his dad's house. I started back then, and when we were Unique Dreams Entertainment.
Wow.
And that's what got me started. I mean, it wasn't really, it was a natural, I don't know where it came from because I never trained for any type of music. I play a lot of instruments, but I just play them by ear.
Yeah.
And, I never had any formal training. But DJing, watching Roger DJ is what really got me into it. And me and my partner, Daryl Pierce from the LA Posse, What's up, Daryl? We got together and just started making demos, and Daryl would find some acts. He found Breeze for us. And that got us started. That was our start. Uncle Jam's Army was our launching pad, and Breeze was our first act.
And Muff, tell them, just go down the list of people that were Uncle Jam's Army.
Okay, Uncle Jam's Army. When we say Army, we mean that. There was a lot of people that or may not be directly in the Army. I'm talking about hanging posters and handing out flyers, but they were closely, when I say close, closely associated. You have the LA Dream Team, you had Ice-T, you had Ice Cube, Dub C. All these guys used to come to the dances. The Egyptian Lover, Jesus. Oh, God dang. Bobcat.
I was going to say DJs. Come on.
The DJs, you had Bobcat, DJ Pooh, you got Battle Cat, you had Kid Cat, you had the California Cat Crew, you had, Jesus, Keith Cooley, Aladdin. You had a lot of guys that were phenomenal DJs. I mean, these guys were a trip to watch. I mean, I didn't feel bad because we had so many DJs that you couldn't get all the DJs on the turntables in one night. And I didn't feel bad not getting the DJ at, one sports arena dance or Veterans Auditorium. I'd get an Alpine Village, or I'd get, the Playpen, I'd get those. But the other big dances, I didn't feel bad not DJing because we had so many and they were so talented. And, I'm a team player. If you're doing it better than me, please, by all means, you're making us all look good. Yeah. So it was, man, geez, the talent that Uncle Jam's Army had, the talent that Uncle Jam had. And still, our last DJ, the very last DJ that we had, M-Dog, DJ Invisible Man, he was the last DJ that Roger had. And even he's phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? So we had phenomenal. We had quality and quantity. We had both. We had the DJ Twins. I think you guys know Twins. They were phenomenal. So we had, God, man, we had a lot of DJs. We could do easily 6 or 7 parties in one night, spread out if we needed to. We had enough.
Well, and then everybody who was Uncle Jam's, a lot of them then became K-Day Mix Masters.
Yes, Battle Cat, like you say, Battle Cat, Bobcat, Egyptian all Lover,
cats.
DJ Pooh, all those guys, they, I just looking back on it, you have to pull yourself out of it and look at it and be like, wow. If you can sit back and just marvel at the talent and the just the whole across the board. I mean, there was nothing that they couldn't do. When Egypt came out with that drum machine at the sports, man, that was back then. That was new. Right. So Egypt was like a genius for that. And he's the one that actually got me interested in programming beats. With the 808, but it wasn't until I got to New York and got with Rick Rubin, that's when I really learned the intricacies of the 808 drum machine and how to program and phonics and all that stuff. Him and Steve Eck, that's what really elevated my game as far as music was concerned.
But see, Muff, don't you feel like everything K-Day, all of the hip hop in general in LA, don't you still to this day look back and go, holy shit?
Well, no, it really, there's a couple of instances that really stand out. One of them is when, I don't know if you guys remember that interview that Lior did with Charlemagne, saying that they asked him how did he get into hip hop, and he said it was because of us. He would go around and he see all these posters and he's like, let me go check this stuff out. And that's how Leor Cohen got into hip hop. But that plus just like you say, K-Day, the first all hip hop radio station in the world. Come on, man. And what really hurts my heart is how we let that slip through our fingers. K-Day, I mean, it's still there, but like when
that ain't K-Day.
That
ain't K-Day.
That ain't K-Day, but you know, it's a remnant of K-Day. But when most of the rappers that were on top, like MC Hammer and Cube and Snoop and all these guys, I don't know why they just didn't buy the station. Somebody step in, grab that station. Don't let it slip through our fingers. Come on, because it's. I even had thoughts. You remember when K-Day was on Crenshaw Boulevard?
Crenshaw.
Right. You remember how the sign was on top of the building? I wanted to steal that sign. I was plotting how I get on that freaking roof and get that thing. and the one time that I actually got the nerve to do it, I drove down to LA from Palmdale. I said, let me see if I can at least get on the roof. And I got there and the sign was gone. I'm like, oh my God, somebody beat me to it. That sign. That was classic right there. I knew the value of that and I wanted it just for safekeeping because I knew I wasn't gonna damage it and I was gonna hold it dear to my heart. You know, I would take care of it. So whoever got it, I don't know what happened to it. But whoever got it, I hope they're taking care of it because I'd be real pissed.
I don't know. We might have to ask Matthew McDaniel.
I was going to say.
That's the guy. That's the guy. He's got the door. Yeah, I signed his door too. Yeah.
He's got the door. Yes, he sure does.
Yeah. Matt might know where that sign is. Yeah.
But you know, I mean, what he's talking about with K-Day, you know, the new K-Day, that's not it.
It doesn't have the soul of the old K.
Nope,
it doesn't have the soul. I mean the spirit of it. The like I say, the remnant is there, but it's just not the same. It's just not the grit. You know, the streets. You can smell the pee in the corner. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And not only that, but there wasn't a day, and only Muff would understand this. There was not a day that went by at that radio station that a DJ Pooh or a Dr. Dre or a Bobcat or one of them was wandering around
yes.
the radio station.
Yeah. Greg Mack, he I used to go up there to see Greg, Jack Patterson, you know, Rory Kaufman, you know, all those guys back in the day. Those were my guys back in the day. So yeah, we would definitely. That was a hangout. It wasn't supposed to be a hangout. It's a business, but you know how we do when we find a place that we like. We're gonna hang out.
Mom, when on earth would you walk into the public affairs department at a radio station and see Rosie Greer crocheting something?
Come on, man. Come on. And it was really, really weird for me to hear, like, say for instance, excuse me real quick, but say for instance, when somebody would come into town. Now I worked at Rogers Record Shop, the DJ booth on Slauson and Western. And we would hear, we'd listen to K-Day all the damn time. And we get, and when you hear somebody up there was one time I closed the shop. I'm like, dude, I got to close the shop for at least a couple of hours so I can go up there and see who these people are. You know, if an artist came into town, I wanted to, you know, Roger would probably, you know, if he had anything to do with that show, he would bring them by the record shop. But there were some shows that we didn't have anything to do with. There's some people that I wanted to see. And they were up there, you know, doing the interview. And I'm like, yo, somebody got to cover for me or we locking the door. I got to get my butt up there. I want to see. You know, because K-Day was the spot. So, yeah, I get it. I definitely got it. And I miss it. I miss that. But we don't have that anymore. We still got KJLH, but it's not the same. It's not the same. Terrestrial radio, people say, oh, digital radio is the way to go, which it is. I love digital radio. I love it. But you can't just throw terrestrial radio to the side. You can't do that. Please don't do that.
Yeah. Yep. It's too important to the foundation of this.
It's too important. It's too important.
Yeah. Yep. Can we talk about Deaf and Defiance?
Okay, that's a short conversation. Okay, Deaf and Defiance. That was Daryl and I taking a stab at trying to make records. Now, my grandmother always told me, a man's got to know his limitations. I not a rapper. I never have been a rapper, never desired to be a rapper. And Daryl never wanted to do it either. But making beats just came natural to us. But back then when we started the Deaf and Defiance thing, we were just trying to find our way. We were trying to get in where you fit in, you know what I'm saying? And when we did that, it was comedy. We had a producer, his name was Hank Donick, at Macola Records. And the track that he made for us, you know, back then you don't really want to make any waves. But I didn't like the track, but I didn't say anything about it. You know what I'm saying? Because this guy was helping us out. And it was a Wild Wild West, I think the name of the song was.
Yeah.
It was okay. Stop. It was terrible. That record was terrible. But Egypt had made a beat for us that was dope. It was energetic. It was on fire. I think he kept it for himself when we didn't use it. And then we did another record, Daryl and I, after that. You know, but we like, okay, dude, we're not rappers. Let's make some tracks, you know. And Daryl tripped upon this cat named Breeze, and we made him a demo called it was called Popcorn. What's the name of this song? Popcorn. And that was the demo that actually got us to Def Jam. We played it for Russell at the BRE, and I don't know. Have they told you the story? Has Breeze told you the story of how we got on?
Yeah, he was here and he told us the story. But if you would like to tell it again, you know, from your perspective, please do.
We it was the last day of the BRE. It was on a Sunday, but there was one more party that Sunday night. But everybody was checking out that like about 12 o'clock. There was maybe a couple of hundred people in the lobby, and Russell, you know, back then he was larger than life. He was just sitting down there, and the people that were working for him, Gary Harris, rest in peace, and Bill Stephanie, they were, you know, checking him out of his room. So he was sitting and he had a little boom box and he was playing tapes, and he was just dissing people left and right. He put it in, play the tape, 3-4 seconds, get it out of here. And he wouldn't even hand it back to him. He'd throw it at him. Here, get this out of here. And we were like, well, what do we got to lose? You know, everybody else getting their face cracked, and we might as well take a shot at it. And we gave him our tape and stepped back. And I'm like a catcher. I'm waiting for him to throw my shit. You're not gonna just, you know, you ain't gonna just hit me in the face with it. Just throw it. I'll catch it, and I'll be about my way. He stopped the tape, rewound it, and played it again. And like, who is this? Who is it? I said, yo, Russell, that's me and my man Breeze. He said, who's with you guys? I said, it's just me, Breeze. And then Daryl was standing next to me. He nudged me. He said, yo, I want to go too. He said, I say, yeah, and my partner Daryl. and so he immediately stopped the tape. He wanted to know who we were, and he called Gary. He said Gary was at the front desk checking him out. He said, Gary, call Heidi, tell her I want these guys in New York immediately. So that was on a Sunday. Tuesday morning at 6:30, we were on 41st and Broadway.
Wow.
That did happen that quick. And the way that we were, you know, as far as Uncle Jam's Army was concerned, how close we were, Ice-T actually met us at the airport for our red-eye flight. He met us just to see us off because he knew we represented, you know, a whole group of people. Yeah. And he was the only guy that sat there, and he was at the airport when we got there to leave. And he said, hey, you guys do your thing, make it happen. You guys are there for all of us.
That's so dope.
That made us feel really good because we were scared as hell. Like, we gonna go to New York. I ain't never been nowhere but LA. Well, I was in the military, you know, in the Air Force. I've been around the world 3 times, but going to New York for this, I was nervous. It was a trip, but it happened so quickly, and we weren't prepared for it, you know, mentally and as far as the culture, because New York had a hip hop culture.
Yeah.
We had a gang culture. So it was completely different for us. You know, when Daryl and I got there, I lost $50 within 30 minutes of landing in New York, playing 3-card Molly. They got me. They got me. I didn't know, you know, so I learned my lesson real quick. So, and Heidi, she walked us through that whole thing, that whole process. Russell, and this is how we survived. Now, we went there, mind you, we weren't, you know, I wasn't working. Neither one of us, we were doing odd jobs and whatever, working at Rogers Record Shop. So we didn't have any money. So Daryl and I had $150 between us going to New York. Now, you know, you guys know, that's not, you can get a few hot dogs for about 3 days, and after that, you're going to be freaking broke.
Right.
So Russell, we went to Russell. Russell, look, dude, we don't have no money, man. We need to do something here. And he told us that, look, you guys save your receipts, whatever you spend, go to Burt Purdell's at the end of the week. Burt Purdell was the big accountant in New York. Go to Burt Purdell's and give him your receipts, and he'll reimburse you. Now, mind you, I've always been a straight shooter. You know, I don't want to, you know, make no waves and do nothing wrong. So it was $150 every week. We was getting back $150, but about 2 weeks of that, I'm like, look, this is not getting it. So after that, we started picking up receipts off the ground. You know, people. So the next time we went to go see Burt Purdell, it went from $150 to like $4,000. I'm like, no, man, because I mean, you learn your hustle real quick there. So yeah, that was my first taste of New York hustle. You know, hey, you gonna keep that receipt? Let me get your receipt. It was crazy. And we lived on a diet of carrot cake. Every morning, me and Daryl would have a piece of carrot cake and a short dog of Old English. Every morning. Every morning. That's what we had. And then for lunch, we'd have a hot dog.
Wow.
The struggle, said, baby. The struggle continued.
Bree said you guys were just doing a lot of songs, a lot of demos and joints.
He did so many freaking demos. I mean, 3 or 4 albums worth. But yeah. He was getting stale. I mean, we made. So Russell sent him home. Russell said, dude, just, you know, go take a break, go home, what have you. And me and Daryl are sitting there like, okay, you just sent our work home. What do you want us to do? And that was the time when they were shooting the Tougher Than Leather movie.
Yeah.
And so Rick was busy. Rick and LL, if you guys know LL, he's impatient. He didn't want to wait on the Run DMCs and all those guys to do his album. He's like, I want to go in the studio and I want to go now. So Russell called and said, look, I want you guys to go in the studio with LL. We're like, okay, I was already nervous. Now you really fucking me up. You know what I'm saying? But so we were just really there just to keep him busy until Rick got done. So we were just making demo after demo. And when they got finished shooting the movie, Russell called us at the house. He called us and he said, look, all right, I'm sending a car for you guys. I'll meet you guys in Manhattan and you guys can play me what you have. So it was me, Bobcat, Daryl, and LL. And we played him all the stuff that we had recorded. We played him I Need Love, I'm Bad, I mean, the Bristol Hotel. We played him all these songs. And there was a lot of songs that didn't make the album that we played him.
Wow.
But the one song that he hated, when I say hated, it would not have made the album if LL hadn't fought for it. And that's I Need Love. He hated that record. Wow. He said, dude, I'm going to give you the exact words. He said, that's some new edition bubblegum bullshit. Like, okay. And said, take that off the album. And LL said, no, I'm not taking it off, B. I'm not taking it off, B. No, this is my album. I'm not recording no more records. I'm not taking nothing off. This is the album. And he said, okay. And because if you notice, I Need Love was never a single. Never. You had to buy the album to get I Need Love. And that's what pushed it over 3 million.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeez.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was.
Jeez. Wow.
Mm-mm-mm.
So then, yep, there you go.
Yeah.
So you came back and worked on Panther too a little bit.
Now, let me tell you the story on that. As you guys know, as you guys really, really know, back then, the deals that we were signing were garbage.
Yeah.
Russell gave us on the norm, the standard was 3 points for a producer. You get 3 points, you're doing real good back then.
Yeah.
That fucker gave us 1.5 points to split between the three of us.
Ah, jeez.
Yes, that's what we got. And so when it came time for LL to do Walking with a Panther, Bobcat said he wasn't doing it. He said it wasn't enough money. Daryl said, nope, not enough money. Well, right. It wasn't enough money for 3 people, but it was enough for 1. So Todd, I lived across the street, right across the street from Todd. His grandmother was best friends with this lady named Miss Simmons across the street, and Miss Simmons had rooms for rent. So that's where I stayed. So he came over one day and said, Muff, I'm going to the studio. You want to go in the studio with me? I'm ready to start the next album. I'm like, yep, I'm going. And that's how I, ended up doing Panther. We did the whole thing, Big Old Butt, Jingling Baby.
Yeah.
Although Marley, he remixed it. Thank God he remixed it, because I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking, but I mean, the songs that we made, there was some songs over on that album that didn't make the album, the solid album. Now they made the cassette.
Yeah.
Like, but the album, they didn't make the album. But that was that was a time when everybody was getting into the consciousness rap, and LL wasn't into that. He was still into LL. So, if you guys heard the story, he got booed in Harlem because he had just dropped that, and he was just talking about himself, but everybody else was Fight the Power.
Yeah.
So, but it still sold 1.5 million, and it would have sold more than that. It would have sold more than that. But when Todd went on the road, he took some guys with him. I won't name any names, Busy Bee, but he took some guys on the road with him that hadn't been on the road in a while, so they pretty much didn't know how to act, and they were acting such fools on the road that the label pulled the tour support and pulled the record off the album at $1.5 million. I mean, off the shelf at $1.5 million because of of not poor attendance, because the attendance was great, but the group just acting a complete fool on the road. Busy was getting arrested. He was, these young girls and all that stuff. It was crazy. So it probably would have went, another million at least, because we hadn't even released Big Old Butt yet. You know, all we had was I'm the Type of Guy, and then another song, I can't remember what it was, and then,
It would have sold more if K-Day played it too. That right, Jennifer?
Tell it. Preach, preacher, preach.
And if Russell hadn't been such an asshole, I might have.
Yeah, well, me and Russell, Russell kind of rubbed me the wrong way recently. Well, I won't say recently. It's about maybe 10 years ago. And I haven't really talked to him solidly since. But this is when I was starting my men's. I had a men's semi-pro football team. And I was trying to get uniforms for them. And I reached out to Russell. Said, Russell, dude, I don't want your money. Just, I need to get some football pants for my football team. And he said, well, how much is it? I said, it's like $700. This is what fucked me up. It rubbed me the wrong way. Don't insult my intelligence. He said, oh, I don't have that kind of money. Are you serious? $700? And you can write it off. I'm a 501c3. You can write that shit off. And he wouldn't give it to me. He wouldn't give it to me. I'm like, you know what, dude? Don't ask me for shit else. Don't ask me for shit. And I haven't talked to him since.
I don't blame you.
Well, no, $700. Come on, man. You got that in your sock.
Right. So around the time that you did Panther was that right around the time that you guys did Breeze, the Tyson album?
Yes, we had just signed a deal with Atlantic with Sylvia Rome. Hey, Sylvia, love you, baby. Yeah, and we got Breeze signed over there because Def Jam was shelving him.
Yeah,
he was supposed to be on Def Jam. They shelved him. We got him off of there. We went over there and got it done. But there was when we did the LA Posse song. Me and Daryl were upstairs and downstairs. If you gotta know where Chung King Studios is, upstairs was Studio A and downstairs was Studio B. I was running up and down the stairs. I had LL downstairs and Breeze upstairs. And one night I was actually recording the LA Posse song, and LL came in there. He was looking for me. He said, "Muff, yo, I'm downstairs." He said, "But what is this?" It was LA. He said, "I want that." I said, "Dude, I can't give you this. This is Breeze." He's like, "Dude, I want that track." And then Chuck D wanted it. I mean, they all wanted that track, but I was loyal. I could not do that to Breeze.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that to him. Even though they were offering me a lot of money for that track, there's no way I could do Breeze like that. That's my guy. This is his signature song. It's probably the best song that he had. Well, there's some other songs that were good, but that one right there was a bona fide hit. Yep. So I couldn't do it to him. So yeah, that's the same time we were doing that. But at the same time we were doing those, we were actually recording demos for Nikki D on the slide. We would book time, and if somebody canceled, like Breeze wouldn't show up, or LL was like, "I'm gonna be late." Okay, Nikki, come in. We got an hour, and we come in and we cut some demos on her, and we got those demos to Russell. Also, this rubbed me wrong too. We got the demo, and me, Nikki, our roommate Donna, Daryl, Bobcat. We all went out one night. We went to Nails in New York, and we came back. We checking our messages. It was Russell. He's on the answer service. Yo, LA Posse. Yo, Muff, Daryl. That demo you gave me. I want that bitch. I want that bitch. I'm like, okay. So make a long story short, we got the demo to him. He signs her. We didn't get to do one song on her album.
Yeah,
not one. Man. And we the ones that actually, got her on there, but couldn't do nothing on her album.
Wow.
So we ended up doing the Real Roxanne instead.
Yeah.
Right.
But Muff, on Go Cut Creator Go.
Okay.
Who was that actually?
Scratching?
Mm-hmm.
Bobcat.
Thank you.
It was Bobcat.
Tell the
Cut Creator. Cut Creator is a cool DJ. Cut Creator, Phil Pot, cool DJ. But the energy, it was a different type of energy, and it was needed. And it was nothing against Phil Pot, nothing. Love it. That's my guy. But there was a certain amount of energy that we needed, and only Bobcat could do that. Him and Aladdin were the guys that could do that type of shit. Mm-hmm. And all that stuff was Bob. Matter of fact, Bobcat did scratching. He did all the scratching on the album. All of it. Cut Creator didn't do any scratching.
Wow. Damn.
Listen to what he's saying.
No, I am.
Yes, sir.
Muff, are you still in possession of any of these demos that you did?
I have a cassette. I have a cassette of some stuff. I have to go looking in my garage and dig it out, but I know I have a cassette, and Daryl has a cassette of some old Breeze demos. He's got a cassette of some old Breeze demos. I've kind of been wanting to transfer that stuff. I just never got around to it, but yeah, there's a few demos that were recorded that are still around. They're lingering.
Wow.
I've always been a huge fan of Breeze's album. I thought it was criminally underrated. And thank you. I didn't pull out props tonight, but
Well, did Breeze tell you the story of how he ended up not doing a second album?
I think so.
Yeah, because that's what happens with the youngsters. They think they know everything. First of all, don't bite the hand that's feeding you. That's one thing. And the other is, dude, secure something else. Like when you resign from a job, you don't resign and put in your 2 weeks notice until you got another job.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta have something waiting. And he didn't want to wait. And Sylvia called us up. I say, hey, Breeze, you ready to do your next album? Man, I don't want to be on your label. No, you guys are spending all your money on the DOC and all that stuff, and you guys don't pay me any attention. I don't want to be on your label. And she's like, okay, bye. But we didn't have another deal for him yet. So he pretty much stepped on his own dick. So
But you guys still had the deal though, because you ended up doing your deals.
Well, we still had the Wise Guys.
Yeah.
That's ill from Ill Out Scratch. We had Organized Confusion. Pharaoh Monch and Prince Poetry. We had them before they were Organized Confusion. They were the STP.
Yep.
STP.
Yeah.
And we had them. Russell offered me $90,000 for it. I said, yo, give us an even 100 and we got a deal. He said, nope. I'm like, are you kidding me? You gonna cry over $10,000, you big baby. Anyways, that, and then also we had Rage. Right. but Sylvia signed Yo-Yo instead. She was only gonna keep one girl. And she signed Yo-Yo. We had Rage, we had Monifa.
Wow.
We had a nice little stable of artists. But after the Atlantic deal, it was, we had some of the guys' fathers wanting to be road managers. I mean, dude, you were driving limos last week. How are you a road manager?
Yeah,
and they would go behind our back and go up to Sylvia's office and ask and say, yo, we need money. And this, I'm like, wait a minute, you guys got your advances from us. And so Sylvia's calling us like, hey, who is this guy up here? And it just messed up the whole deal. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So when it came time to renew, she didn't renew because we were a headache.
Yeah.
Muffla, keeping it right here because you're talking about producing other groups. I love that Wise Guys album. Tell us about Stretch, Big Ill, trying all them guys. Tell us about making that album.
Stretch was actually one of the dancers for Houdini. When we went out on the Def Jam tour, he was a dancer. So him and Ill, Lorenzo Grooms, Big Ill, they wanted to start a group. So I actually gave them, I gave Stretch, here, take my drum machine. I had an SP1200. I said, take it, make you some tracks, let's get started. So I signed them. And it was good. It was, I tried to be hands-on without messing with their creative, juices. But when I look back on it, there's some stuff that I could have corrected, that I should have corrected. I shouldn't have let them talk me out of taking. No, I shouldn't have let them talk me into taking Wise Words off the album. Wise Words, Ill and them guys were just like Breeze. Breeze didn't want any funk on his album. Breeze didn't want the LA Posse record because he said he didn't like funk. He was an East Coast guy.
Right. And
the same thing with Ill. Ill's like, I don't want that funk. I don't want that funk. And the track that I was using was So Rough, So Tough.
Yeah.
For Zap. So I let them talk me out of putting that record on. He said, I don't want that on there. So we took it off. 8 months later, here comes Ice Cube. How to Survive in South Central. I'm like, God damn. Are you kidding me? And I looked at Ill. I heard it on the radio. And I looked at Ill and he said, damn, Muff. Damn, Muff. I'm like, don't damn me. Damn yourself. That was stupid. 8 months later. Wise Words, here comes, that blew my mind. That blew my mind. Because it seemed like while we were producing, we we were always like 6 or 7 months ahead of everybody when it came to sampling. And I didn't realize it until years later. Like when I think it was Salt and Pepper came out with "It's Your Thing." Is it do what you want to do? We had that first. And if you remember on the LA Posse album, we did a song called Love Don't Live Here.
Mm-hmm.
We had that before Tupac. Before Tupac did Keep Your Head Up.
Yep.
We had that before that.
Yeah.
And so we were so far ahead, but we didn't know what to do with it. You know, and Sylvia, she didn't know what to do with it.
Right.
You know, another person we had, Mel LaRue. She was in our state.
Oh,
wow. If you listen, the lady that's singing on the song I just mentioned with the what's the song? I just said it.
Love Don't Live Here Anymore?
Yeah, Love Don't Live Here. That's a male singing. She was 15 years old.
Wow.
Yes. Yes.
Woo.
Damn. So Daryl and I were, you know, not to pat yourself on the back, but we could find some talent. Like I said, when we found Prince Poetry and Pharaoh Monch, I'm like, damn, what are we gonna do with these guys? These guys, I don't want to go in the studio with them. I might fuck them up. So you know, and Troy and Larry, they were great at making their own stuff. So that was phenomenal. That was a big lift off my shoulders.
Yeah. Wow.
Damn.
So how did you guys come about doing the LA Posse record? How did that all happen?
Sylvia made us do it.
Oh,
we
okay.
wanted to do a compilation. We wanted to go and just get all the artists that we knew and just put on there. Joy Caldwell. You know, there was a few other people that we wanted to put on there, and she said, "No, I want you guys to do an album." I'm like, God dang, are you serious? Who's gonna rap? And Daryl looked at me. I was like, "Don't look at me. I'm not getting on nobody." No, that's not happening. So Daryl was forced to be a rapper, and it really broke his heart when we got a review in the Source, and he got 2.5 stars. he was so hurt because of the review. The review said, the guy said, the production was LA Posse, you know, it was great. The production was, you know, the LA Posse stuff is always great. But whoever that was rapping, yeah, they need to go back to the drawing board. And Daryl wanted to find that, I can't remember the guy's name. He wanted to find the guy to interview. He wanted to beat him up. Because the whole country read that shit. And Daryl was, I mean, he was heartbroken. He was angry behind that. But you wasn't going to get me on the freaking mic. It was not gonna happen. And then when it came time to do shows, I'm not a performer. And that's how Ill, on one of his songs, he had a line called "You're one fan from your 2 shows." He was talking about us. I mean, there was one show that we did, me and Daryl. This is when we were with Uncle Jam's Army. We were trying to do the Deaf and Defiant stuff. And we did this show, and it was in Fresno. We rode in the back of a paint truck to get there. And when we got, we were doing the show, and we didn't, no stage presence. No, you know, we were just standing there like we were Frankie Valli. Strangers in the night. You know, that type of, you know, it was crazy. So we were just standing there, and it was so quiet that we weren't getting booed. But the people in this one girl in the back of the crowd, when I say crowd, I mean there was maybe 100 people there. And she said, "You guys are boring." And I looked at Daryl, and I just, you know how you just drop the mic? I didn't even drop it. I put it down on the ground and just walked off the stage. I'm like, dude, this is not what we do. Come on, man. If you want some plumbing, call a plumber. I am not the plumber.
How did you guys get the gig working on the Real Roxanne record?
Okay. Daryl always had a crush on her. So we actually went looking for her, and we reached out to her through Select Records, through Fred Mineo, and he got us in touch with her. We told her, "Look, what are you doing? Are you going to cut any more records?" And she's like, "Well, you know, I can't get in the studio with producers." And, you know, the Full Force was doing whatever they were doing, and Herbie was doing his thing with, you know, he was off the charts by then.
Right.
And we'll do some records with you. But we did not know that she knew Jam Master Jay too. So when she said Jay wanted to do some songs, I said, well, yeah, I know Jay. We can get together because Jay was my best friend. Rest in peace. Jay was my best friend. So when she said she wanted to get in the studio, I called Jay and said, Jay, yo, let's go in the studio with Roxanne. He's like, word? We go in the studio, me, Daryl, Jam Master Jay, and we start cutting demos.
Yeah.
And when we finally got it, a lot of that stuff done, we took it to Fred. Fred, he's not a very smart man. But we took it to Fred, and he said, okay, this is good stuff. I'll put this out. I said, Fred, why don't you just make an album? Because we only made 3, maybe 4 songs, I think it was. I said, why don't you put an album out on her? He said, well, there's not enough songs. I said, Fred, all you had on her, all her career was singles. Take those songs, Bang Zoom, and all those songs, and How He's Teed Off, put those on with the new ones. Now you have an album. He's like, oh, dude. Okay. I'm like, dude, do you know we never got paid for that album?
Wow. Really?
Not a dime. Not even for studio time.
What?
We never got paid. Fred was such a butthole.
What?
We never got paid. We didn't get any royalties. We didn't get any publishing. We didn't get an advance. We didn't get shit.
Wow.
But it was for the culture because we wasn't really in it for the money. We were kids. We didn't know. We were in it for the culture. We were having fun. We make a couple of dollars. If you can buy a bag of weed and a 40 ounce and some carrot cake, we good. I'm not mad. And, so we wasn't really sweating it. But then after the Roxanne stuff, I'm like, wait a minute, this is a business. This is a business.
Oh.
So Fred really screwed us too. So we learned a lot. Like we always tell people, we went to the school of hard knocks when it came to hip hop. We hit the streets of New York, and streets of New York beat the shit out of us.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever have any beef with the Laurelton Queens, LA Posse, like Mikey D, Johnny Quest, Posse, any of that?
It wasn't a beef. We had nothing against them. They had nothing against us. We were just fighting over the name. And we were from LA. Come on, Laurelton come on, Louisiana is LA before Laurelton.
Yeah, right.
Come on, no. So, that was our argument. We actually won, we won the name. So, and Jam Master Jay is the one that gave us that name, the LA.
I was just going to ask. It was Jay that gave you guys the name.
Okay.
Right?
He's the one that gave us that name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
but we never had a beef with them. But it was always cool. And I've never really met those guys. It was our attorneys that were going back and forth, but we never really met them. And they would like to say there was no beef. We're just fighting over the name.
Yeah. Am I correct in saying that you have a writing credit on Beats to the Rhyme?
Yes. Now let me tell you how that came about.
Okay.
You know how it was at Def Jam. You hang out. You ain't got nothing to do. So you just hanging out, and everybody, Eric Sermon, the Red Man, everybody's up there. We always hung out at Def Jam or at Rush. And Run, we were at Rush, that's what it was. And Run, Jay was out of town. He was in, I think, Georgia or North Carolina or somewhere. And Run wanted to go to the studio. Davey D wasn't there. Oh. And he said, yo, Muffy. And that's what he called me. He called me Muffy. He said, yo, I need a beat. I'm going up to the studio. And I kept my drum machine. I had bought an Acura with one of my advances and paid cash for it too, by the way. I kept my 808 in my trunk all the time. I carried it with me. So I said, okay, I'll meet you up there. So about 15, 20 minutes later, I go up to John King, and it's me, Run, DMC, and he has an acetate of the lyrics, but there was no beat to it. So that's why it's called Beats to the Rhyme, because he took the acetate and scratched it into the beat.
Yeah.
Cuts for days. All that was on record. Yeah, so he actually scratched it and cut all that stuff in. I had made the beat with the 808. It was me and Pooh.
Wow.
And that's how that came about. But then when Jay got back in town, all he did was add samples over the 808, sound.
Right.
Him and then Davey mixed it down, and that's how I got the credit.
Wow. I had heard that they had pressed the vocals to an acetate. I didn't realize it was the whole thing. Yeah, wow.
The whole thing, yeah. You know, just being in the right place at the right time, basically. That's what it was. God had his hand on me.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. How was working at Chungking? You know, you hear all these stories.
Okay. You will never find another studio with the acoustics for hip hop like Chungking. That place, there was a mouse living in the mixing board. There was a cat that pissed on everything. His name was Stinky. The cat pissed on everything. The whole place smelled like cat piss. But when it came to sound, that place was dense. I mean, there was no echo. And so when you get, you get your mix down, it was thick. Yeah. That shit was there. It was no, you could clap your hands and you're going to hurt your own ears. That shit hurt. It was really, really, and when they built Studio B, which was downstairs, it was nice. It had the flying faders, mixing board, but I liked the Studer. When we mixed a couple of LL records when we first started, it was like playing Twister because there was no flying faders, none of that, automated shit. We were like playing Twister, and you had to, mute this at 136, and if you missed it, we had to start completely over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when we mixed a couple of records, it was like playing Twister, man. I love Chungking, but see, I want John King. I keep in touch with him on Facebook every once in a while, and he still has that equipment down in his basement. And I told him, dude, I want that board and I want those Uri speakers. He said, well, if you send a truck to get it, I mean, you can get it. I'd have to buy it from him, but yeah. You can get it because I want that equipment, and he still has it. Wow. So I would like a Chungking West. I would love it because he said he would come and do the acoustics for me. I said I want it just like the doggone Cat Piss Lounge. That's what I want. Give me that, and I'll do the rest.
Yeah.
It was grimy, spider webs, people writing on the walls. But then we stopped using Studio A because when Rick Rubin was recording Slayer, they had went through the whole studio and started putting up those what are those signs for the devil?
Pentagram.
The pentagrams.
Yeah, it was all, they were on the ceiling, on the equipment, on the board. They just drew that shit over there, all over there. You know us, black people. No, I'm not going in there. And we stopped using Studio A. And I hadn't been to Studio A since then. When Rick Rubin started doing Slayer, I never stepped back in Studio A again. It was crazy. It was scary,
People forget that Slayer's first record came out on Def Jam.
Yeah, Rick Rubin, man, freaking G.
Yeah. What? So you were talking earlier about learning stuff from Rick and the 808.
Yes, Rick actually taught me. Yeah, 808. I said, how do you make it swing? I didn't know how to make it swing. My beats showed me how to do that. When he showed me how to do that, it was like taking one of those limitless pills. It just opened up my head, and I just came up with a whole new slew, an arsenal of beats, making that shit swing. And then once I got the hang of that, I took that on the road. I actually recorded Big Mouth for Houdini into the 808, and we played it live on the road. And then when Dougie Fresh and those guys came out on the road with us, Chill Will, I passed that information on to him. And so he wanted to know how to, and I showed him how to do it. And so that was just, information just being passed down. So Rick passed it. Egypt started me, but Rick passed it to me, and I passed it to Chill Will. I don't know who he passed it to, but yeah, man, that was Rick Rubin and Steve Ett. He taught me phonics. Steve Ett was like a mad scientist. He was the greatest hip hop producer, not producer. Well, he was a producer too, but hip hop engineer alive. I mean, there was one night he was mixing what was the name of the song? It was an LL song. He was mixing Why Do You Think They Call It Dope? And he was mixing that, and he told us all, get out. And so if you know Chung King and Studio B, you have to walk into the lounge, and then right from the lounge, there's a door going into the vocal booth, or you can come out of that door and go straight again and get up in the control room. So we snuck into the vocal booth. This dude had all the lights off. All you could see was the lights on the equipment, and he was just sitting in front of the board, listening to every track individually soloed. I mean, he was in there for hours, just listening to, making sure there was no cracks, no anything. You know, he was Dr. Dre before Dr. Dre, because Dre is meticulous when it comes to doggone sound. That doggone phonics, that's his shit. And Steve was like that. I mean, he was a mad freaking scientist, and we were just in awe of just watching him work. And so him and Rick Rubin, I'll say they're the ones that elevated my game as far as producing was concerned.
Yeah.
And it stuck with me. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't something that just in passing and use every once in a while. Everything they taught me, I used daily.
Yeah.
I used it daily.
Wow, that's dope. That's so dope. You guys have any other questions?
Go ahead. You got something, Flatline?
No, go ahead.
Oh,
No.
wait, Flatline.
Yes, sir.
Yo,
Yes, sir.
I always wanted to thank you personally for we had 2 songs on your show.
Yep.
The Hip Hop Gods. The one with Doc Ice, we're singing.
Yep.
We got the #1 on that. And then the Uncle Jam's Army song.
Yeah.
We got the #1 on that. And the Uncle Jam's Army song was a demo. It's not even, it's still not finished. It's still not finished.
Wow.
It's still not finished. Battle Cat is going to finish it for me.
Okay. Yeah.
So but I wanted to thank you for that, man.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. That's what I was going to bring up. That's what I was going to bring up.
Haters. You know, you get haters, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you guys were on the, what kind of list was that?" I said, "Dude, how many lists have you ever been on?"
Right.
None. If you get on anybody's list, it's a blessing. Somebody's recognizing you. Are you kidding me? So, dude, I hold that near and dear to my heart. I still have screenshots of the list. I always show people this stuff. Yo, we were #1 on Hip Hop Guys, dude. Hey, I let people know. So I always wanted to thank you personally for that.
Man, my pleasure. My pleasure. Yeah. Because if I want to be playing. If you're working on anything new, I want to be playing that as well, and we can get it charting again.
Yes, most definitely. I definitely want to send you some new stuff. I got some stuff with King T that we're working on.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yo. Okay.
We are big King T fans here.
We are.
Yes.
Tina moved back out here to Palmdale because his kids live out here. So he's moving back out here. I'm trying to teach him how to golf now. He's a terrible golfer. And I'm trying to get him out there, and he can't hit the ball. He can't even. You could give him a shovel. He couldn't hit the ball. But I'm trying to get him into it, so we'll see.
Nice.
Amazing rapper, terrible golfer.
Yeah, terrible golfer.
Ultimate, what were you just saying?
Oh no, I just wanted to know how you got the name Muffla.
Yes, good question.
Do you want the true story or the popular story?
Well, no, tell us both. Okay,
the popular story is it has to do with females. It's not true. That's as far as I'll go with that. That's not true. Bobcat gave me that name. Here's the story. When I was mixing, what's the one with the nursery rhyme? Shit.
Ooh, LL?
Yeah, the LL song, the nursery rhyme.
My rhyme ain't done. Yeah.
My rhyme ain't done. I was mixing that. And Daryl, Bobcat, and LL went to go get something to eat. Now, they were gone for a long time. And I was drinking. I don't drink. I'm not a drinker. But, if you're in New York, when you're in Rome, the 40-ounce laying there, you're going to drink it. So I was drinking while I was trying to mix this record. Now, anybody knows when you drink, the first thing that goes is your ears. So So I mixed the record, went into the lobby, and went to sleep. Well, I thought I mixed the record. So them guys came back, and they, Bob woke me up, and LL woke me up and said, Muff, what are you doing? You supposed to be mixing. I said, I did mix the record. It's done. Go in there and hit play. And they go in there, they sit down, and they hit play, and all you hear is he said, dude, you muffled the record. I'm gonna call you Muffler. And that's how I got the name.
Oh,
That's how I got the name. Bobcat.
wow.
And it stuck. And it stuck. Because after that, he went up to Rush and he said, yeah, that's Muffler. And everybody started calling me Muffler. And then, it was, I'm like, okay, I'm Muffler then. Whatever. I don't care.
Right. Oh.
Wow.
You were so after the LA Posse deal and stuff, you were still mixing a lot of records, right?
Yes. I actually, you know what? After the LA Posse stuff, I got into gospel rap. I did this kid named T-Bone.
Oh,
You guys ever hear him? Do you remember that movie called The Fighting Temptations?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, T-Bone was the guy that was in one of the guys in jail. It was him and Montel Jordan. They were the guys in jail. T-Bone was the Hispanic kid that was rapping real fast.
Yeah.
That's him. He's a gospel rapper. And his label called me and said, yo, I want you to cut some songs on our guy. And I did his first album, and he got nominated for the Dove Awards, Best Rap Album.
Wow.
I think I was the first guy to come up with a hip hop, first guy from secular hip hop to get a nomination on the Dove Awards. I think Teddy Riley came right after that. I think.
Yeah.
But yeah. I as far as I know, I didn't hear any of anybody else doing gospel back then. I got into that, and then Bobcat got into it, but then he got out of it. He said, there ain't no money in gospel rap, so I'm stopped doing that shit. And you know what? This is one thing, and I used to get on my mom about this because she's a minister and all that. And I'm like, there's no, why is it every time that the church people want you to do something, they want you to do it for the Lord, but you know what I'm saying? They don't want you. Well, what's your budget? Well, come on, let God use you. Yeah, I'm gonna let God use me, but I'm not gonna let you use me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, God can use me all he wants, but not you. So I kind of got away from that, and I went into retirement after this one particular song that kind of if this is the type of stuff that I have to make to stay relevant, then I got to get out of the game. And that one song was Chicken Noodle Soup with a soda on the side. I'm not making that. So, I mean, it got to the point where I wasn't even listening to radio. I was listening to talk radio, KFWB. I was listening to that. And so I got out of it, got into coaching. I coaching high school. Well, I started out with youth football. I got into high school football, started coaching that. And then I heard this one girl, her name was Rosalind, we'll call her Rosie. And she was so incredible that I'm like, you know what? Maybe I need to, test the waters on this shit again. And that's how I got back into music. I was completely done with it. I had retired, I had retired in 1998 and didn't come back until 2010.
Wow.
Yeah, I was done with it, man. That chicken noodle soup just fucked my head, fucked my ears up. I couldn't. That's not something that I wanted to make. It wasn't. It was just corny to me. But it was a big hit. So I'm not a hater, but I just couldn't make that stuff. And this is what I have to make. We got to make this type of stuff. Okay, never mind. This is not for me.
Well, we're glad you're back.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna get in the studio with Earl and like I say, Alex Price and Chaos and John Michael and No Good and King T and Samaje Sumter, and there's some artists out there that are really peaking. Kreese is a phenomenal producer. He's a youngster too. But it's youthful energy. That energy, I'm surrounding myself with these new kids. I'm trying to show them some things without fucking with their shit. You know, I mean, I'm trying to get most of these kids off these presets. Dude, you don't like to turn knobs? I like to feel the sound. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to, you hit a preset, that's somebody else's sound. Get your own, you know, and I just, I try to teach them that. And I was asking for stems, and they're like, what are those? I'm like, dude, I can't mix a 2-track. I can't. Come on, man. What, can you turn the vocals up and turn the? No, I can't. No, I can't do that. You only gave me a 2-track of this shit. And that's what they were doing. So I'm trying to get this new generation into there's a correct way of doing things. I mean, it may be old school. Like, for instance, most of these kids nowadays, the format of songs, back then it was, the intro, a chorus, verse, chorus, bridge, there's a format. But these kids, some of them don't even have hooks.
Right.
They just, God dang, what the hell is that? One verse, a hook, and the song is done. That's like 2 minutes. What? So, I mean, I have to get used to that. I try to get them to stretch it out. If they don't want to stretch it out, then I'm like, okay, just leave it the way it is. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But there's just some stuff I can't get with. But some of the stuff I accept. I try to fix it, just guide it in the right direction. I don't want to mess with your creativity. You know, you guys have your own way of doing things. Great. Hip hop has to evolve into something, but when it evolved into mumble rap, I'm like, okay, no, we can't do this. We're not doing this. But but other than that, I'm back in it to stay, I think. I think I'll do it till I die.
All right. Word out. But Muff, I personally want to thank you because I was, growing up on radio, and then I got into a lot of R&B and stuff like that. And then one day, a guy that was working for my dad was playing a tape, and I walked into the room, and I was like, "What is this?" And he showed me the tape, and it was LL's Bigger and Deffer. And that was, I call it my gateway drug. Because from then I was hooked, and I've been a devotee to this music ever since.
Man, and we did not know. Believe me, they say there's a formula for making hits. I still don't know what it is. Whatever feels good. Yeah. I mean, that's what I go with. If it feels good, well, it's off a little bit, but does it feel good?
Right.
It feels good, then don't fuck with it. I swear, if you change that shit, I'll fucking erase the whole damn thing. It's all about feeling. Like I tell these kids, turn some knobs, feel the sound. You know, and it's. I know there's a formula for it, but I don't. Like I say, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I just feel through the dark until I feel something that I like.
Word. That's dope. All right.
Muff, we know what it isn't. Don't drink a 40 ounce.
40 ounce. The first thing is going is your ears. I promise you. That's the first thing to go.
Yep. That would have been a whole different LL.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you thought it was finished, and that's great.
Yeah, I went and took a nap in the doggone. I was taking a nap in the lounge, and they came back, and it was. It's a bunch of cotton. Somebody had a bunch of potatoes in their mouth or something like that.
That's fantastic. Bob, thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
Yes.
And Jen said she wants you. She says you guys are looking for Jaleel.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna make that happen.
And Pooh.
And Pooh, yeah.
Pooh is a freaking ghost. Yeah, I mean, he don't answer the phone.
That's he's in the same witness protection program as Bobcat.
As Bobcat, yeah. There's witness protection. They don't answer the phone. They do not answer the phone. They don't do it. But I see him on Instagram, and we talk there. But I could call Pooh right now, and he will not answer the phone. And I know he's on the phone. I know he got it right there in his back. He won't answer.
Right.
Neither will Bobcat. They will not answer the phone. But Jaleel, I'll get Jaleel for you. I promise you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Wow.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Muffla, Dwayne Simon. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much, Jen, Ultra, Flatline.
Yes, sir.
C-Dot. Nice meeting you, man.
It was great to meet you, too. Thank you, sir.
We will talk, Muff.
Yes, looking forward to it. And my line is always open, and I mean that literally. I'm a musician, by trade. You call me at 2 a.m, I'm up.
Yeah.
I'm up.
We will be talking.
Okay, I'll be here.
All right.
Word.
All right, y'all.
Thank you, sir.
One love.
All right, peace. Fantastic.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
That was great.
Fantastic.
Woo.
Great stuff. Thank you for making that happen, Jennifer. And shout out to Breeze. Too.
Huge shout out to Breeze, and he totally let the cat out of the bag. But what nobody knows, he was the road manager for Houdini.
Gotcha.
Nobody ever discussed that, but he was the road manager for Houdini.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Now it all makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Nice.
Wow.
Oh well. Flatline, you have a new show this evening.
Oh, we want to talk about that? Or do you want to talk about it? I wasn't ready. I can be ready. In one moment, I think. Yeah, there we go.
I mean, I could talk about it, but
no, talk about it. Boom. C-Doc is taking over Hip Hop Gods Radio, doing a 30th anniversary celebration for Music and Our Message by the mighty Public Enemy. And it's on SoundCloud because Mixcloud doesn't allow the same track the same, you know what I'm trying to say.
Oh, the same artist?
Yeah, same artist, multiple tracks. They say, nope, can't do that.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
But SoundCloud is cool about it, so that's where it is.
Okay.
And it's also on the Rap Station app.
Right.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
It wasn't my idea. I had an idea for a show, but that wasn't it, and I couldn't remember what the idea was, and I was like, oh, but you know what I could do. So it was that.
You don't remember that from trying to put Yag Fu Radio together? How are we going to do that?
Yeah. Now I do. That's right. Yep.
Yep.
So go get yourself some SoundCloud. Go get the Bring the Noise app. Where's our banner? There you go. If you ain't got it, go get it.
Right.
So, and real quick, the It's C-Doc Again is brought to you by our sponsors. First up,
Auga, Hackensack Brewing, where this weekend, September 8th, there'll be an Awesome Tomb event. I don't know who's going to be there, but I'm sure there'll be hip hop royalty somewhere in the house. Whenever I go there, Greg Nice is always there. He lives there. he lives at the brewery. But anyway, Hackensack Brewing, Auga, check them out.
Word up. And the show is also brought to you by the Spit Slam Record Label Group. The Spit Slam Record Label Group, a Chuck D situation. Catch us on your favorite streaming platform, on Bandcamp, or visit our official web store at spitslamrecords.com. All releases are available digitally or on CD, with select titles available on vinyl and cassette. The Spit Slam Record Label Group. Throwback to the future sound. Yes, indeed. The Spit Slam Record Label Group, which is founded by Chuck D of Public Enemy, in case you didn't know. So there you go. Now you do.
Word up.
And you can also check out Chuck's radio rap station, radio station, online radio every Friday. I know. Every Friday, 9 p.m. 9 p.m. I don't know what time it goes on. What time does it go on?
That Luke in the third's kicking in.
Yeah. Friday nights. And you don't stop. radio show, 2 hours of hip hop power, Flatline with the hip hop gods, me with the Spit Slam Gem of the Week.
Yep.
And Chuck has segments, lots of other segments. There's news. Sometimes I do the news.
Soulbuck.
Soulbuck. Yep, exactly. Speaking of Soulbuck, you can catch our man in Amsterdam, DJ Soulbuck, along with Jennifer Jenny and Ultramag. There he is. Every Sunday, right here on Channel Zero at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the mixtape, where Soulbuck will spin the music of our upcoming guests. And next week, episode 150.
Yeah.
Hey now.
Man, we're getting old.
We are. Who's going to be in the house?
Oh my God. I hope everybody's sitting down, strapped in, because Flatline, go ahead and say it. You know you want to.
Just ice.
Yes. Yes.
Can you believe it?
Can
you believe it?
I'm so geeked.
Yeah.
Going way back.
Going way back.
Yep.
To the best of my knowledge, I guess that I'm fresh, and when I manifest, I not only tell you.
Oh.
Hold it. See, Doc, what's going on?
Yo, Ultraman, what's the purpose of you stopping me?
Oh my God.
Yo, man, kick the rub. You was just kicking at me a while ago.
All right. Okay. Yes. Just Ice in the house next week. So join us, please. If you enjoyed the show, like and subscribe. Tell a friend. Thank you, Jennifer O'Jenny, Flatline Ultramag, for being here. Everybody watching live, everybody watching on the replay. And we will see you next week for another episode of It's C-Doc Again.
See ya.